Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install this B&W companion fifth wheel hitch for your factory puck system on our 2022 GMC Sierra 3500. Now if you've got the factory puck system, this is definitely the easiest way to go because it's really just a drop-in system. Once you've got the height and everything set up, it's there, ready to go. It's just a matter of dropping it into the pucks or removing it if you need that full bed access. Thanks to the railless design, it leaves your bed completely open when the hitch is removed, so you don't have to worry about it taking up space when you don't need it. The hitch is built to tow 20,000 pounds and then can support a tongue weight of 5,000 pounds. Now keep in mind that's the rating for the hitch. Your vehicle may have a different weight rating, and if that's lower, you don't want to go by the lowest rated component here, but that is what the hitch can handle. It's got a dual jaw design, so as we open this up, by taking the clip off on the other side and opening up the handle, we can see that those jaws open up nice and wide to accept our kingpin on our fifth wheel, and then the flare out here can help guide that kingpin in addition to the articulating head. We get a little bit of side to side movement and some front to back movement. Again, that helps with hooking up, but it's also going to help absorb road shock and make for a smoother towing experience. And here's a look at what that hookup process may look like. You can see we've got our dummy fifth wheel kingpin, and as I close that handle, the jaws will close around that. Just secure it in place with that pin we removed earlier, and it's going to be nice and secured inside those jaws, making 360 degrees of contact. And again, you've got that articulation in the head to help with some shock absorption. Now with all those points of movement, you might be noticing that there's really not a lot of noise coming from the hitch. Now when you're towing stuff, you're going to hear something going down the road, but the high quality polyurethane bushings inside, that kind of cushion things, are going to help keep that noise to a minimum. The height of the fifth wheel head can be adjusted anywhere from 16 3/4 of an inch from the bed to the top of the head, all the way up to 18 3/4 of an inch. There's 3 different heights to choose from. We've got it in that lowest position right now, and those height differences are in increments of 1 inch. In addition to that, depending on whether you've got a short or a long bed, it can be positioned a little bit front to back. We've got ours positioned a little bit closer to the cab right now since we've got the long bed set up, but it can be scooted 2 inches back if you've got a shorter bed. That'll give you more clearance with your cab. And depending on your height and your tonneau cover setup, you could also get good clearance with the tonneau cover and be able to close it over the fifth wheel here. And taking a tape measure to our tonneau cover right now, we can see that even if we were up 2 inches in the highest position, we'd still have plenty of clearance underneath our tonneau cover to close it over the fifth wheel. Again, depending on your tonneau cover setup, that clearance may be different, but for our case today, it worked out really well with plenty of room to spare. And with the dual piece design, it's very easy to remove it from your bed. Now it's already easy because of the factory puck system, but to make it a little bit lighter to lift up, we can separate the head from the main base here. Taking those pins and clips out of the head and lifting by the handles, it will release and make the load a little bit lighter to lift away. And then coming to the 4 corners of the base, we can take these safety pins out, release the handles on all sides, and that will allow us to take the base out from the factory puck system, again, utilizing the handles on the side to lift it up and away. Separating the fifth wheel hitch into 2 pieces like that certainly makes it easier to do on your own. It's still gonna be heavy. It's all very solid steel, heavy duty stuff, but it's at least doable on your own. Now that install process is pretty much the same as that uninstallation process, just in reverse. So let's check out how we did it. Starting off the install, you want to get your pivot arms set into place. Now, depending on the length of bed you have, you want to have them favored towards the front, towards the cab, or towards the rear. In our case, we have it set a little bit towards the front because we've got a long bed. If you had a short bed, setting it back would give you a little more clearance. The other thing to note is the height adjustment. If you look inside the fifth wheel, we've got our bolts with our lock washers threaded into a block on the other side of the fifth wheel, and you can use that to tighten down and determine the height that you have your fifth wheel hitch set at. This is the lowest position for us right now, but there's 2 other positions above that to choose from. Just make sure whenever you get that in there, you torque it down properly. After that, we can drop it into the factory puck system. Lifting it by the handles, bringing it back, and aligning it with the 4 holes on the corner. And once that's dropped in, we can take the handles, throw those latches, and secure it with the pins. Now, depending on how tight those handles are, ideally we want a little bit of tension whenever we throw that latch. So if it's not to your liking, this one from some angles here is feeling a little bit loose. So I think what we're gonna do is take off that cotter pin, tighten the castle nut up just a little bit, and get some better tension on that latch so it's nice and tight in the factory puck system. Once that's secured in place, we can take the head and attach it to the base. We've got our pins right here removed. We can just lift up by these handles and lift the whole head, setting it onto the base over the pivot arms. That'll kind of nest down in there, and when we release the handles, it should be locked in place, and we will secure it there by taking those pins, sliding them through the holes they were just in, adding our clip to the other side, and that will prevent these handles from being opened all the way and keep the head down on top of those pivot arms. After that's secured, our handle can get added on using the included screws and nuts underneath. And then after that's attached, you're all good to go. You can open up that handle, hook up to your 5th wheel, or just leave it here and it's ready to go for next time. And that'll do it for our look at and installation of the B&W Companion 5th wheel hitch for your factory puck system on our 2022 GMC Sierra 3500. Thanks for watching.